Alright, welcome back to another stream. Doing some speedrunning. Yeah. I have a few plans for this run. Wait, hold up. Splits. I have these splits now. I'm also following a few more like rules that were determined recently for speedruns, like remix settings and whatnot. Although probably won't be submitting any runs now. Oh yeah, another difference is that I'll actually be trying to do actual runs, as in I'll be resetting if I die or make a significant mistake. Oops, now I'm gonna fall down here. This run is also, I'm also going to test out a different route. Done a little bit of practice off stream. Looking at some different routes, and I've determined one that is better than the other, but I haven't checked every option. Sometimes those snails can slow you down. You don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do this run is trying to just go to the wall, get the echo at the top of the wall by going through outskirts and industrial. Because the alternative to that is to go through the gutter. Although the gutter has a handful of problems, like faster because I'm doing a speedrun up top. So I need to stay at least one shelter to get karma for the next gate. Yeah, I've tried the strategy where you go through the gutter, although it's kind of annoying because you have to karma cache and also have a really long cycle to get to the next shelter in time. And I believe you're allowed to use the remix setting to make cycles the longest length possible, specifically for the Rivulet story run. Although I don't know if that's the same for the Ascension run. So I'm keeping the option on, but I'm not submitting the run just in case. And this strategy is kind of totally didn't need to do that. Doing this strategy just in case, you know, we're not allowed to have no randomized cycles. Because I think it'd be more consistent than going up through chimney. Hello. Do you see that? She like bit me for a second there. That's kind of strange. Hello, welcome to the stream. I've also noticed that karma catching kind of messes up the in-game timer. So I don't know if that's going to be fixed or karma caching won't be allowed, something like that. Okay. Don't just run through blue. I thought I'd be able to get up there fast enough to throw a rock at it. You know, we started a run just waiting for 15 seconds. Sometimes the starting bit can be a bit tricky, so you have to jump out of the water with enough speed to grab onto these poles. You don't need to get those fruit up there. Usually you don't need to worry about the snails as long as you don't make contact with them. Okay, that's better. Also, I need to remember that there's no reason to hold on to that spear. He's going to be picking up 2 fruit. Also, there may be a good reason to stay in that shelter instead of the one later on. Because there's usually an eel lizard that gets in the way if you stay in the later shelter. And maybe if you stay in that shelter instead, then the eel will be in a different position. And I died for that. That's another thing I'm mixed about. I don't know if I should hold on to 2 fruit there to have more fruit for the next cycle, or more fruit for the next cycle, or if I should hold on to a spear, because that's usually you can just run straight past that kelp, but sometimes you get grabbed. I can't really figure out a consistent strategy, although it would have been easier if I didn't mess up my jump multiple times. I'm just follow through that platform. We're getting the slide. I don't even know what I just did, but that jump is really high for some reason. If you don't use karma caching, you'd probably get karma through these fruits, but I don't know. I don't think the gutter strategy would be worth it if you didn't karma cache. Because you have to stay in shelters on the way to like outskirts and industrial, so you'd get karma naturally. So let's see if creatures are in better positions for this cycle. Sometimes I try to grab onto that second pole to jump off of it. It doesn't work. I think if you do a wall pounce there, you pretty much have to jump out of it. So there, if you have a rock, you can just jump out of it, or you can release yourself very easily. And I messed up that slide. You have to tap down for just a second if you wanna slide on those semi-solid platforms. I don't even know what just happened there. I'm gonna do another speedrun. What's like that? Probably the Saint. Unless you're referring to it's like I've yet to play it all. Or yet to do a speedrun for it all. And I don't really know. I'd like to hold on to this girl. So I don't really like most of the other Slug speedruns. Or mostly for their campaigns. Best way to get past lizards in most cases. Maybe if we can figure out a good route for Spear Master, I might attempt that run. Spear Master, it also depends on how the... Because there's gonna be different categories for Spear Master, because it changes a lot based on if you have passage with key items turned on. Since most of their campaign is bringing a pearl from one place to another, back and forth. You know, if you can just passage with the pearl, it makes it a lot faster. So I don't know, if there's a good route for that, I might play Spear Master, but from the attempts that I've done, it's just very difficult. You have to deal with hunter spawns, and you don't have great mobility. So you actually spend a lot of the... You kind of have to spend a lot of the run fighting creatures, except for the fact that you might also have to carry some combination of Pearl, Grapple Worm, or Vulture Mask. That makes combat more difficult. I don't know, it just kind of feels messy. So if someone comes up with a really like efficient route for Spearmaster, I might play that too. And same for the other slug cuts, but I don't really want to figure those. I don't really want to figure those out. This is a time loss. Forgot about this karma. I was thinking, oh, I don't have to stay in this shelter. I can just... go straight to industrial. There's enough time in this cycle. You can do that as Rivulet, and it's amazing. Okay, that's one of the reasons I like to hold around, or carry around a pearl. So I'd rather have a good reputation with scavengers in case I run into them in a tricky situation later. I think I'll be able to... Oh, I should have grabbed one of those popcorn plants. I don't like that lizard in the way. I have unlocked Saints. In fact, I've actually done a few speedruns them already. Might be faster to try to get a slide pounce on that left side. That's ideal for that room, I think. Just try to get past it in one jump. Oh, thought that was a lizard. Probably would have been better there to just... climb the poles normally. Tried to send with that knowing on camera got beat up by the Guardians. That's fine. Spoilers for base game are fine here, since you're just playing downpour, but don't spoil anything major for the Saints campaign specifically. And I would add a good rule to follow is that if I'm not talking about spoilers, don't mention spoilers either. And it's good to just not mention like anything about the Saint at all. Because Saint is it's a good character to play completely blind. But it can be a bit tricky depending on the lizard spawns. Sometimes a leaf lizard shows up in this room. Okay, that jump is actually too high. In this, I don't like that there's lizards in this room. Yeah, luckily there's a bit more food in this room. And it's that lizard. Remember to activate the echo here. Okay, sometimes if there's a bat fly in a good spot, you can grab them. I'd rather not waste my time with it. Slow vulture. I like how completely you can ignore some creatures as Rivulet. How do you slide that fast? That's just how Rivulet is. I did activate this echo, but I won't be getting it now. Heading up to the wall first. Did not mean to do that. Luckily I have enough karma. You should have enough karma up to this point if you haven't died. Out of all the slug cats, Rivulet probably has the easiest time with the wall, if you know what you're doing. It's not only is the cycle super short, so they're gonna get scared away from the rain a lot faster than normal, but you can just skip some huge sections. Any slug cat that has leap lizards in this area is a lot more difficult. So what you can do is do that. Up here. You don't need to throw items upwards, you can just do backflips there. Or use the spear like normal. Yeah, I don't like that lizard up there. Or any of the lizards up here. Bit of a time loss. Kind of hope that the lizards aren't in a bad spot. Also, I've yet to figure out a good strategy for that room. Or whether you should go up the left or right side. But they're kind of micro optimizations. Sometimes you jump too high there. Make sure to actually grab onto the pole. I don't know if doing those wall jumps actually makes you go any faster. We just want to see this echo up here. Okay, so the last attempt that I did, I went through the gutter and I got to the Sky Islands gates in 16 minutes, 50 seconds. And now it is 17 minutes. So it kind of looks like this route is slower, although I did make a few mistakes here and there and I got stuck at the lizards for, like some lizards, a little bit longer than I should have. So this may be the faster route if it's optimized, but also I could have optimized the other route as well, so either one could work. The biggest problem with the gutter route is having to karma cache and having to rely on random cycle length, which we may be allowed to have the option that it's the cycle randomization, so that you always have enough time. Although that kind of gives you more of an advantage in this category, so I don't know if it would be allowed. Okay, what was up with that? Really don't like the idea of dealing with this lizard. So that went pretty well. Probably do a slide pounce there, but it's safe to just do regular pounces. Okay, let's not deal with the lizards. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what the ideal move here is. But I'm going to activate the echo and then try to stay at the shelter next to farmers. I still need some more food though. I might need to get popcorn plant unless bat fly. That's enough. And I managed to get another. So that's pretty good. Ideally you land on that top platform. I kind of slipped off that pole. Think they should make a feature you can play maps other people made? Well, that is a feature. It's the Steam Workshop. You can download maps that people upload to the workshop and play them. There's not many maps on there right now because workshop support was just released a few weeks ago. People are still updating their mods. But I've already played a map someone else created, the Slug King. It's kind of like a platforming challenge map. Do I have a PB? No. I've yet to do like a... Well, I kind of do, like 50 something minutes or something. That was like with plenty of like mistakes and deaths, and it's not optimal at all. I'm actually going for a full run completion this stream, where if I make some kind of significant mistake, I'll restart. So it'll be decently close to optimal, for me at least. Also, I realized that I've forgotten to split. I'll have to update all of those. I got these new splits and I totally forgot to use them. So now it's just getting down to Subterranean. Doing complete runs does require me to go through the entirety of the Void Sea. Which can be a bit annoying when doing multiple attempts. Actually, I don't need to worry about food. I can get a popcorn plant later. Mess that up every time. Excuse me. Good place for a deer to be. The nice thing about this route is that you don't have to deal with deer at all. Just go down here. There's also plenty of food here. I think I'm just going the top route, right? No. That's later. I did have to go down here. This is why this area is exclusive to Rivulets. Although you can go through here, the bubble weed. I don't really know like a good way to optimize this area. Kind of rough terrain. You just don't have much room for slides or interesting jumps. It's mostly just running and jumping over and over again. This area also has a little bit of outer expanse ambience. I don't need to go up that pole. But even going through this fast route, still at the end of the cycle, you have to be fast. Okay, try not to get stuck like that. I would like to go to the top shelter, past the gate, but it's raining. Are you ever gonna attempt to speedrun with Slug pups? I don't know. If there's something interesting. I mean, I suppose there's the alternate ending with Survivor, right? If you bring Slug pups to Outer Expanse. But also, Slug pup spawning is RNG. So the start of the run would just be running back and forth between shelters to get a Slug pup. That doesn't really sound like an interesting way to start a run. And also, once you get a Slug pup, you can just hold it on your back, and at that point, it's not really that different. Although I might do the speedrun just to get to Outer Expanse as Survivor, to get that ending. That could be an interesting speedrun. Let's not fall wrong way. Late on the split again. I'll try to remember to actually get those without putting a Slug pup on your back. Well, you could also do that if you carry onto two at once, one in your back, holding onto another. But pretty much the only interesting to do with the Slug pups is to bring them to Outer Expanse, and if I'm doing that run, I'd probably prefer to do it without the Slug pups. Probably a faster way to fall safely down there. Oh, there's no worm grass there anymore. Those removed. And also, it's faster to go the other way. Also, I always lag a lot when I get to Subterranean. A lot of lag spikes. Slug pup percent for getting just getting a Slug pup. That's just RNG. I mean, if one can show up in like the very first shelter, that's how you do that run. Also, one of these guys down here. Usually don't see that. I did not mean to jump there. The only zone that lags and crashes for you. I've mostly had difficulty with not difficulty, lag with mostly the new downpour regions. Like Metropolis. Probably the best filtration I've gotten so far. Of course, well, I'm not done with it yet. That was all pretty smooth. Usually this song isn't playing down here. Maybe an extended side is too far for that area. Remember to jump over this. This song is still playing. Also, the big difference from this run to the last few runs that I'd done on stream, that I disabled. Oops, that doesn't go anywhere. I disabled pre-cycles. Hello. Yeah, that was not great. The pre-cycles usually aren't that big of a deal, although I think they still just slow you down in general. But it's especially a problem for filtration because the whole area would be flooded. And you just would not be able to see what you're doing. Complete darkness, all underwater. And it messed up a few of my runs. So I disabled that. I don't know if that will be allowed. It's kind of one of like Rivulet's main mechanics. The main differences in their campaign is that it rains a lot of pre-cycles. And I think the main problem is that it messes up karma caching, but granted I used for this one didn't involve karma caching, so it might not be a problem. I still have to figure out a good way to get through the depth strategy. Still just spam jump, pick up items and throw boost whenever you can. Usually I like to do backflips to start rolls, but I don't think that's worth it for Rivulet. Your backflip goes too high and then your rolls are normal speed compared to your running, which is a lot faster than normal. I don't think it's worth it. Although I don't even know if throw boosting really helps Rivulet that much either. Be careful with jumping when you enter the void sea, because sometimes you can plank on accident, fly into the sky. I believe the timer has stopped at this point. Planking. Well, you do that by jumping if you jump from a great enough height into water and you press jump right when you hit the water, you might have to press it twice, then you get sent flying. Another reason I like the Rivulet's Ascension run is that the Void Sea is much faster, because you swim faster. And, you know, depth in general. That's one of my main complaints about the Survivor speedruns. I don't even know if you need to do Void Sea, technically. Based on the way timing the runs works. Because the timer at the top of the screen has already stopped. It stops once you enter the Void Sea. And then, you know, usually we don't want to time like when you actually end the run, because the void worms are random. They might push you up for a long time, or they might bring you down really fast. So it's random how long it takes to get through the Void Sea, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we usually don't count the time it takes to get to the real ending. So you might be allowed to just exit out of the game. I believe that's, well, I'm not gonna say that. There's an option to make shelters and gates quieter, but not an option to make the Void Sea quieter. Use Chaos mod. Nah, I'm good. I can just play the Secret Slug Cat for Chaos. I do want to do a stream of one particular mod, the enemy randomizer, specifically because there's going to be new creatures, the one-sided by downpour. That could be interesting, but I haven't been able to get that mod to work. You just get stretched out by the void worm. I also haven't figured out the optimal way to swim as Rivulet. I'm just kind of spamming. I'm not spamming it. If you jump too fast, then you kind of can't do it for a short time. Stowaways can't be added. I don't think they can. They act kind of differently. I think they're more considered like part of the level instead of an actual creature. And stowaways could replace dropwigs. Yeah, they'd have to figure out a way to like take a dropwig in its den and like convert that to some position on a ceiling nearby. They're like pole plants, yeah. Okay. Kind of didn't expect to actually finish a run. this quickly. Wow, only 19 minutes. Yeah, that doesn't count. It doesn't count time that where you get echoes. Like for example, when I sheltered at the top of chimney and went all the way up the wall to get that echo, none of that time counted for the time that shows on this screen. Same for deaths. So the time on this screen is more accurate, 33 minutes. I think this is going to be included when you submit runs. And of course, real time with the live split. Although I don't know if that will count time it takes to beat the game with this, like the real ending, or just time when you enter the Void Sea, because that was 34 minutes. I'm going to do another run. This time. Oh, also kind of messed up the splits because I forgot to get the earlier echoes. Okay, gonna do another attempt. This time I will try the gutter strategy. So I think it is faster. I think ascending as Gourmand is a lame ending, yes. Ascending as most of the Slug Cats is a lame ending. Except for Artificer, the base game ones, and of course the other one. But they're kind of like supposed to be underwhelming on purpose. The other Slug Cats campaigns kind of have some kind of purpose to them, some main quest that they're trying to do for their campaign. And Ascending is kind of just ignoring that. And especially for Gourmand, because they're kind of the opposite of the Ancients. So Ascending is kind of like exactly the wrong thing to do as Gourmand. All those scavengers. Sometimes they'll just kill you. So something interesting about karma caching is that it kind of messes up the in-game timer. It doesn't count time that you spent after exiting out of the game from karma caching. So when you do this strategy, the in-game timer and real timer have a much greater difference. Because it's at 1 minute 55 seconds. Now it's at 1 minute 40 seconds. Don't like ascending as Artificer. Well, it's very difficult. I've yet to do it. Mostly because you need a karma flower to get echoes, and I got stuck in an area where it was very difficult to get another karma flower. But I don't really like Metropolis either. Well, specifically for speedruns, I don't like the idea of doing the intended ending for Artificer, because I have no idea how the Scav King fight will go. It feels mostly pretty random. I mean, we might figure out like exit queue. Someone might figure out like a consistent way to do that fight, but it felt mostly random. Like some people took like 20 or more attempts to beat them. I beat the the Scavenger King first try. And it felt like did I actually like deserve that win, or did I just kind of get lucky? And I feel like that's how it's gonna feel in speedruns. You know, you're gonna rush your way all the way up to Metropolis, and then maybe you'll defeat him first try, and maybe not, and you'll have to restart the run for something optimal. I mean, it doesn't take that long to restart if you die. Who's not coming? Thank you. Really having trouble with those snails. You can sometimes run into a spider here. Spider specifically. You pretty much have to, well, you don't have to play perfectly, but you have to be very optimal with this part of the run, because you're really close up against the timer for the shelter that I'm going to. It might have been a good idea to hold on to that spear. Next shelter is quite a ways away. And also you can sometimes have difficulty with some creatures on the way. I think there can be a leaf lizard here. Yes. Probably the worst creature to deal with in a big open area like this. They're actually decent at chasing you. This one's very determined. Hey, get that spider up there. Okay, that was just luck. I might have died there instantly. I'm good on food. I think it might be better to go to the bottom, that lower pipe. That was a risky, not really that risky, but I tried to throw the rock upwards to get more height. So I managed to get lucky both of these runs. I have enough, or both of the runs that I've attempted so far, where I get here just barely in time, and that's with a fairly long cycle. So it may be completely random whether you have enough time to get up there or not. But now I'm already in Chimney. You know, I didn't have to spend any extra time going through too many extra regions. And the gutter music is still playing. Yeah, I didn't jump high enough to grab onto that. Off-screen lizard. Classic story. There's also a decent chance to start runs hearing this song. Can it be in a nutshell? Yep. I heard the lizard hiss and I thought it was the white lizard below me. Nope, it was the other lizard. There's probably a safer route through that room where you go through pipes instead of climbing up the poles, but I don't think that's fast, especially with Rivulet. Also, I have yet to figure out a good way to beat this room. It can be quite annoying sometimes. I don't actually think I need to get that fruit. Although it might help on the next cycle. There's plenty of fruits in those rooms. Slower but safer, yeah. That's what I don't like about this route, having to start every run with karma caching. It would be better if the gate to the gutter wasn't 5 karma requirement. You start right next to it, yet you can't go there immediately. Also, if in-game time is considered as the main timing for speedruns, then this would definitely be the faster route because it doesn't count time spent karma caching. Although that's probably a bug. Or, you know, if you rely on karma caching, you'd use the real time instead. The other, like the Survivor's Pebbles percent speedrun involved karma caching too, but it wasn't as bad since you only had to get to 4 karma. It looks like you can make it to that fruit. Just a regular jump. Okay, why did you do a backflip there? I also don't like that you have to deal with scavengers more going this way. At least on the other route, it's much easier to get a pearl along the way. This whole run was a little bit slower than last time. But it seems like I've been pretty lucky getting long cycles every time. Unless there's some kind of thing that this gives you a long cycle. If you on this cycle specifically, you get a lot of time every time. Oh, that'd be kind of strange. That's not great. Kind of hoping that spear would have hit. This is a great route. No way that was gonna work. See, I just don't like the going through the gutter as much. You have to spend a bunch of time karma caching, and then you have to deal with like a white lizard, spiders, leap lizard. Although there's still some difficult creatures in the other routes. You're given a lot more space to dodge them. And leaf lizards aren't really that common for the rivulet. Mostly like orange lizards. And plus you don't have to... Another problem is that you have to get through gutter fast enough to get to the next shelter. I think I'm gonna try the outskirts route again. I know now that going to farm raise definitely isn't worth it. It's always faster to go to get the wall echo first instead. Although this is the same route that I've already done, so just seeing if I can get any faster. That time I did grab onto the pipe. Right. Sounds like the height you get from a wall pounce isn't exactly consistent. Excuse me. There's like pretty much always a lot of bat flies in this room. It looks like if you start in the shelter that's further away, there's usually, or the eel lizard that's in this room usually goes further away. Sometimes they can be stuck in that tunnel. You won't have a way to get past. So there's gotta be a better way to do this here. Also, I need to remember to actually stay in a shelter and outskirts instead of trying to get through the gate. That's one place for a time save, and maybe I'll just have more time Part of this run might be cycle or random cycles lengths, because you always want to avoid using shelters when possible. Say they lose you time, you could be going through the region instead. So ideally, you like industrial, for example, you'd want to get through the whole region without staying in a shelter, so you can shelter in chimney instead. Just realized that I carried these bat flies even though they don't stay in shelters. They evaporate. Can't get all the way up there. One backflip. I feel like it's easier to, or faster to wall jump there. So I'm going to get a popcorn plant here. It's probably faster to always use popcorn plants for food instead of collecting bat flies or blue fruit, unless there's an area with a lot of them. Although you do have to wait for it to pop first. I wasn't able to grab the spear. Bit centipede surfing. A little worried about this lizard. Hello? Okay. I don't know how I missed that spear. I don't really know how to deal with that centipede. So if I threw a spear at it, it would not really care at all. It would take multiple spears to do anything. But I didn't want to risk going around and underneath because I could have fallen all the way down and that would have been just as bad of a time loss. Or probably justify restarting. It might have been better to use the spear to throw booth over the centipede completely. That can happen. Not exactly sure why. Maybe I was touching the snail too much. But I am liking staying in this shelter instead. Hello? That's usually the strategy that I use to get past the kelp. Probably not worth doing that. Hello? That was pathetic. Drop straight into this lizard. Hello, welcome to the stream. Sometimes that eel likes to just sit there and guard the pipe. Ideally, I think you would go through the pipe at the same time as the eel, so that you cross each other and you basically don't have to deal with it at all. You need to do this part and drainage system a whole lot. I don't even know why I pick up a spear. So I usually just end up throwing it at the blue fruit. See, I also touched the snail there and it didn't pop. Oh, great. Try not to do that. I suppose instead of catching batfly in that room with the eel, it might be better to just wait the outskirts because there's plenty of fruit leading up to that shelter. Try to grab a spear or rock sometime before you deal with this kelp. That was good though. Okay, thought maybe I could try skipping another pull. It looks like it's best to just grab them all so you don't fall down. Sometimes I grab this pearl up here for the scavengers. So I don't like dealing with them possibly aggroing. Oh, great. I gave you a pearl. Can you please go the other? This is another aspect of RNG this run. Sometimes there are just scavengers. Have fun. Let me go first. Sometimes you can use those unpopped bubble fruit as rocks. They're boosting, but Rivulet can't. Right now I have splits for all of the echoes in this run. All that mostly just puts all the echoes at the like last third of the run. Well, these current splits are inaccurate because I forgot the echoes before Sky Islands, so that's when I just did all the echoes at once. White lizard. I mean, these are the fruit that I was talking about. Just need to eat one of them, you can carry the rest. Just try not to fall down there. I've died there a few times. So yeah, I might add splits for like the maybe entering outskirts or something like that. Please no. Thank you. Whenever you're using rocks for throw boosting, try to catch them again. So you can't continue the throw boost if you use up your whatever you're holding and you can't find another. Probably better to try to just throw the spear as fast as possible. So you're gonna have to wait for it to pop anyway. Oh. Wonderful. Hello? Thank you. That's what I wanted you to do from the beginning. So I've never had to deal with that centipede before. So last time I was in this room, I usually just don't see it at all. I like doing that too. There's some kind of weird situations where you can pass another creature in the middle of a tunnel. Can't exactly. I mean, it seems like if you're just going fast enough, like if you right after boosting out of a pipe or boosting like I did there, which works sometimes in tunnels, but probably not against larger creatures. It usually works, I think, against like spiders and egg bugs. Hello? I think I'm just gonna try to get the popcorn plant in that room. So I'll be staying in the shelter at the top of the chimney next. That's if I could find a spear. And the answer is no. That's unfortunate. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done that. Hello? Just like a spring-loaded trap. Ready to jump out right when I decide to try to get through. Oh, that's wonderful. Too many canopies sometimes. Okay, I wanted to try to continue up here, because that works too. This is where this route lines up with going through the gutter. This is also where we start worrying about off-screen lizards. Oh, come on. I don't have to do that. I've been here long enough for this center wing to maybe be a problem. Plenty of bat flies. Here's what you're relying on for food in this area. If you don't get the popcorn plant first. So I need to catch 3 of them at least. I don't need to eat it now. So I will be ignoring the chimney echo, heading up the wall. You know, it might be a good idea to not do a slide there. Because you land too far to do another slide right after, or maybe just do the slide anyway, and then jump normally after that. Don't accidentally go in that top pipe. I've done it before. I thought that overseer was some kind of lizard. I don't know, maybe like a blue lizard. Damn, there's already a lizard down here. Sometimes you just go too fast to grab onto a pole. See ya. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, if you manage to throw both of them upwards, you get enough height to grab onto that pole. the worst part of this area. White lizards. Well, that one just didn't really seem to care. They usually like to get stuck in this tunnel. Doesn't seem like there's any right now. It's good. That looks like a decent strategy for that area. You don't have to keep climbing up poles. I was just thinking, there's a decent chance that there will be a lizard up here. And there was. Well, I didn't think it would be that close to that side. If I get released, I'll, like, right now, I'll continue. Nope, doesn't look like it. That's fun. And yet another off-screen lizard. Well, that would have been good if I grabbed in that pole. If I know I had a backflip sword there, I would have just held jump down all the way up. I don't even know how I got that backflip in that first place. This part again. I only grabbed onto one fruit there. I did not mean to exit. I have to wait for the long shelter opening. That's great. Kind of used to, in some menus, you have to press some direction to select the menu, but in shelters it's already selected. Just, I mean, I should have already been used to doing that. Okay, luckily there was a rock right there. Ideally, you just go through like that. I'm down here. Come on. This is a fun game. Don't know why I didn't come down earlier than that. That happened again. I think if you hold down for too long, you just fall through the platform instead of sliding. Well, I think I did start a slide anyway, and then fell down afterwards. Try to hit me with that rock. Goodness. And I try to do that on purpose. I don't get as much height. Even if it's kind of launching. Oh wow, the eel's down there now. Good way to get through that room. Hello, would you like a spear? So it's a lot scarier when there's scavengers. Goodness. Kinda got lucky with the bat flies. Yeah, I did that mostly for scavenger rep. Still died. Scavengers. That's very rain world. Okay, you know, this eel is taking care of the scavenger for me. And getting out of the way. But you know, I'll hit the eel and I'll save the scavenger. You know, that's pretty good for rep, right? Still got speared. That's ideal. You really don't want to grab onto the horizontal poles, because then you'll have to climb up them, which takes a while. That was better. Probably doesn't really make that much difference if I'm holding on to two fruit or one. Sometimes I don't even want to do that. This happens anyway. Yeah, if I don't feed the eel in that room, then probably in this room. And hopefully not further than that. Oh dear. Okay, look at that, didn't hit a scavenger. No. Say I saved you. You're enough friends. Just automatically grab that butterfly. I always end up grabbing onto that pole when trying to get up. I'm crouching. Oh, hello. I don't want to see you right now. Luckily, blues get stunned for quite a while. Oh, come on. That doesn't mean I would like to see more blues. Actually, might just slide fast enough to stun myself for a second there. See, Gormon does that for their crazy slide, but did something there. The scavengers, is that why there's always threat music here? We all know scavengers are always a threat. If you have good reputation. Okay, can we do this? Jump that I've always done, like every other time, just fine. Sometimes that weird thing happens where you kind of start climbing through, but not completely, so you just get stuck. So I'm trying not to get stuck on that slope. Oh, come on. Okay, this centipede is a continued problem. I'd like to get through. Thank you. Same egg bug. Always there. Usually pretty consistent. Have enough time to get through this area in one cycle. Having to shelter industrial. I just kept going the other way. Can't do that. Pretty much the end of the cycle. If I can actually get through this area. And there's a spear here. I don't need to worry about food. That was part of the problem. Having to get bat flies or... Bat flies with a blue fruit in that one room. Typical sand lizard in this area. Falling through this room. I probably could have just thrown the rock upwards. Got enough height there. I don't like this situation. So it's fun to see scavengers kind of swinging around. I think I'm gonna go through this pipe. You can backflip up to that pole, but this gives me a bit of extra time to see what's actually on the screen and if there's a white lizard there. That's a pretty common way to die for me in this area. Just running straight into that white lizard when it's off screen and I can't see it. I'm not sure how echo activation works, like if you can just visit the room for a second, or if you have to actually see the animation. Okay, I actually made it here. This is actually quite similar to the Survivor Pebbles percent run. The biggest threat is white lizards. Activating the echo here actually makes this area a bit easier, so you don't have to worry about like vultures or lizards or anything, so they won't be active with the echo around. Probably fastest to just do the extended slide into the pounce. I was holding onto 2 rocks. Okay, ended up just using the spear anyway. Budgeted area with no weapons. Probably right here, yep. At least stabbing them once ensures that they won't be after me longer. I think they're running away from the rain at this point. Kind of confuses me, like, there's never rain in this area, why are they running away? It would make sense for them to return to their shelter if it's nighttime. They're just going to sleep like normal. But I don't know why they'd be like panicking. Wow, 7-minute time save, that's crazy. That's not actually a 7-minute time save. I just messed up the splits on my last attempt. Like, made it this far. Maybe if we had something to use for throw boost, that was a little close. You can make it up to that top ledge without having to jump twice. Okay, now this is the next normal split. Sky Islands. And this was actually, getting to this gate was actually faster than my attempts that went through the gutter. That's interesting. Although that gutter attempt might have been unoptimized, well, so this one. So now I actually need to get food. I could go for popcorn plant again, although there's not many great locations that don't have a lot of lizards. Like there's one above where all the resistance are. I don't like seeing that. Get that egg bug. Thank you. I can get this bat fly. Not worth it. I mean, usually there's a lot of bat flies in this next room. Ow, fall damage. Oh wait, I usually flied there. Usually there's a lot of food in this room. This is a unfortunate situation. All right. I'll need food. Oh, what is this? This is not time save. They still gonna be here? Okay, they're panicking for some reason. Okay, food. And ideally, I'd get to the next shelter past this one. Last time I might have messed up getting this echo. Might have been a bad idea to throw that spear, but we're good. It's funny that you can make that jump just without doing anything. It might be better just to go this bottom route. Jump like that. That's pretty good. Made it just in time for the rain. I would like if this route relied a bit less on bat flies for food. Although it's been pretty consistent. There's usually a whole lot more than you need. Getting the popcorn plant would be... Well, maybe if you just completely ignored bat flies, you would save enough time so that you could afford to get, say, that popcorn plant right here. Okay, come on. Goodbye. That was actually a time save though. Despite lizard problems. I think all lizard problems are always constant. I mean, the ideal run doesn't have any creatures at all in it. Except for food. Now it's the part of the run that I have the least practice in. Not wonderful. Try to remember which way to go. It can be a little confusing sometimes. That was pretty good. Kind of didn't look like a backflip because the spin was immediately canceled. These deer just can't ever not be in the way. There's this plant here that just blocks you from being able to see what you're doing. don't know why I picked up that popcorn plant. So you have to go down here to this funny room. Kind of strange how downpour has a handful of rooms that look like they could be their own screens, but they actually connect to one large room. Like that underwater pipe room totally could have been its own room. They're connected for some reason. And there's actually a handful of those. Careful around these worm grass. I thought I was holding onto a rock, so I tried to do a extended instant hop. Probably better to save a rock for that jump. You can throw boosts and get higher up on the pole. Maybe. Okay, usually those guys are pretty easy to sneak past. But I do need a spear. Okay, hold up. This isn't the problem. This might be a bit risky, but there's a popcorn plant past this gate. And there's usually a lot of spears in that area, so I should be fine. Although I don't know if I'll have time to eat it when it starts raining. That could be a concern. I have plenty of spears. And this area is under cover, so I would actually get affected by the rain. At least for a little bit. Yep, we're fine. We're fine. And the benefit of staying in this shelter instead, although I don't know if it outweighs the time it takes to get up here, but the benefit of going this way is that you don't have to go through the gate multiple times. I'm already here. I need to learn how to go down that way faster. See, I'm already at the echo and I don't have to go through a gate. Do not activate. You can use all these spears to throw boost. It's very nice. Somehow I accidentally pole hopped when I was trying to just do a pounce when I hit the ground. So I didn't get as far as I wanted to, and then I missed the... That's what I meant to do. And I missed grabbing onto that, which is what I usually do. There's probably a way to fall consistently, and... Oh, now there is worm grass here. What was up with that last time where there wasn't any worm grass at all? Also, I keep forgetting to go onto on the right side. Here's where the lag starts up again. Luckily, there's usually not any dangerous creatures in this tunnel. Like, usually it's filled with, like, spiders or scavengers or lizards or something. Thank you for that. Sometimes the lizards kind of bug out. Make a kind of choppy sound like that. I have to go down here. Wonder if this song will keep playing in They didn't get us done for as long as I thought they would, but still worked out. Always has to be moles in this room. I had to deal with moles last time. It's not any different. I thought I was holding onto a rock, so I just went straight at them, and I thought I could throw it. I might get released, although I might also be. I think I'm just dead. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm just gonna end the stream. I was planning on ending it after finishing that run, but now there's not enough time to start up another run. I also didn't mean to do a whiplash there. Kind of lost some time. I could have made it past the mole. Well, I didn't continue. The rest of that run was better. I mean, I think it was like 50 seconds ahead. I can imagine maybe like a sub 30 Void Sea. If like everything is optimal, that'd be a really good run to get sub 30. When entering the Void Sea, it took 38 minutes on that last run to get to all the way to the end, because it takes like 3 minutes to swim through the Void Sea. And also taking the route through gutter might be optimal too. Alright, well that's gonna be the end of the stream. I'm probably gonna be doing a lot more of these. You're back again? Well, now I'm ending the stream, sorry. But yeah, I'll be doing more of these speedrun streams. It's probably gonna take a while before I make like more interesting content. Because like some of the I had some ideas for like videos to make, but I don't know, they might take too long to release. And as for Rain World, I'll be doing streams like of just speedrunning, like I've been doing the past few streams. But if any interesting mod comes out, or if I could get any mod to work, like I was planning on doing enemy randomizer, but the mod didn't work at all. So I might do that if I can get it to work. Interesting stuff like that. I also might return to the haunted burden for some of the other characters. That could be interesting. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. At least I was able to get one successful run done this stream. Yeah, see ya.